What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And I must say, today looks like a bit of a relief. I know last Friday we really rallied hard into the end of the week. This week, again, we were essentially waiting on the Fed minutes. We got those yesterday. Today, we saw the digestion of that. There was a lot of stuff that moved today, pushing the SPY well back into range, essentially aiming for all-time highs, which is something I talked about earlier this week. I think towards the end of the week, we would start pushing. We started seeing that today. There were some laggers and leaders. There was a lot of major news coming out with the Google and Shop partnership as well. So you had Shop that ran absolutely ridiculously today. Again, you have Tesla that started making a move and started getting a lot of news towards the end of the day as well. So we are looking good, in my opinion. Again, tomorrow really still matters. We're still not out of the woods yet. Tomorrow has to close at a good spot for us to continue with a bull run. Though I'm very confident if Tesla does find any gas, it will start bringing the market and tier 2 tech with it. And I think at that point, we can see us having a pretty clear run, I think, until for the next probably 3 weeks or so before the next Fed meeting. I think Fed meetings from this point forward until there's clear guidance and there's no gray area. I think Fed meeting is going to be very important. We'll see more stalling when Fed meetings come around once a month. Just be aware of that. And when it does come around, that you probably will see some selling. You'll see a lot of chop around that time. We'll have to see how that plays out, if it's going to be the week leading up to, or just a couple of days, or what the case is, but just keep that in mind. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pull up the charts. Pull up the watch list as well. Again, I try to keep it small. It is Friday tomorrow. I do think tech will really run tomorrow. That's just my opinion. It still really matters on how it looks pre-market, but I just wanted you to keep that in mind. Tesla, as always, Tesla had a lot of news towards the end of the day about possibly another gigafactory in the UK. And there was some other news. I think there was another partnership, I think, with autonomous driving or something, some other tech. I can't remember what exactly it was that came in like towards power hour. Then we started seeing this move up, as you can see right here off the chart. But so I got Tesla tomorrow, so I'm really watching that. Again, I think if that starts leading, the market will follow. Snap had some great news today, started pushing up high. Looking for continuation on that. SC looks great on the daily, so does Google. Google also had that partnership news with Shop. So those are the ones I am looking for at the moment. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pull up SPY. SPY, again, had a monster move today. There's a lot of different stuff that was pushing today. It wasn't just tech. You had a lot of tech that originally started the push with Apple and Facebook. Then you had additional ones on the back end. You had Microsoft also pushing. You had a bunch of value stocks as well pushing. So it's good to see the market as a whole, individual stocks really pushing together and making this move up. And then we held really well. I did want it to kind of close above here. Ultimately, on the daily is really what's going to be important tomorrow, because we want to try to close hopefully tomorrow above this 416.65 mark tomorrow. That would essentially allow us to get back into that bullish push back up is where we want to be at. We have been rattling around in here. We did have a correction in March. So that's why I'm not really thinking we're going to do much correcting here. Everything is still fine. We're getting good numbers as well. Good numbers came out today as well with the jobless stuff. So that being said, I think really there's no fundamental reason. Yes, we are fighting inflation, and we'll come back and forth, which is something I did talk about, and continue to watch every time the Fed come around. They might, as soon as they start tapering, I think we'll see another probably 5% move in SPY down at that point, maybe even more. So that's something to be mindful of. But they kept reiterating that it won't be anytime soon. I know Powell kept saying that it won't be anytime soon. Again, time will tell, but just be aware that that is something that is in the deck and could show its face later down the road. So that's what I'm looking for on SPY for close tomorrow. So hopefully we, what I'm thinking is we might actually gap up above this tomorrow. Gap up to 417 tomorrow. Let me see here. 417. I think we do try to gap to the 417 tomorrow, and then possibly pull back and then hopefully rally towards the end of close and pull up above that to close the day. That's what I'm hoping. We'll definitely have to see what happens tomorrow, but it'll definitely be telling tomorrow. We'll give some guidance. Maybe it just lines back up at the line tomorrow, and then we have to do this again, this dog and pony show on Monday. It's already pushing after hours, which is good to see. But it's staying sideways. So we'll definitely have to see how it opens tomorrow. QQQ in itself, it's looking good, right? It broke back above, finally broke out of this range, which is something I really wanted to see. And that is, in my mind, very bullish because once tech starts moving, the whole market's going to start moving again. And with everything, with that report that came out of the meeting minutes and everything talking about tapering, that's definitely a good sign. Yes, we do realize there's inflation and everything else. The market's digested that information. It likes what it sees, and now we had this monster move today. Again, I think we continue to push up more even tomorrow. I think Q's can have a huge day tomorrow, but we ultimately want to reclaim this 331.45. If we can close above this tomorrow, definitely really bullish in my mind, and we start moving higher. It is a higher low, in my opinion, from where we're at. If you look at these lower lows here, we still had some room to go, but it pushed back up. So hopefully we can break back over and continue up is what I'm looking for. And then again, I think in 3 weeks or so, we have the Fed again. So I think we kind of see this waving action, I think is what we're going to see in the coming months. So just be mindful of that. But the next one I got, of course, is Tesla on the daily. Watching this, it's been consolidating for a couple of days here, and that's the thing that I really find it to be bullish. It's been attempting to break out of this many times. There's been a lot of news, and it's especially this candle here, this EV candle with Biden the other day. He wanted to push up and break out, but I think we got more news today. And if QQ is doing well at this point and it continues to do well overnight, I think we gap up. If we do, we ultimately want to break this 226, but I think in the morning, if we can gap up to at least the 601 mark, we really want to break that 607 mark. If we could break that 607 mark, I think we'd be good. And then we got a little bit of headspace here. Ultimately, if we can break the 624 mark, I think we can see 700 easy from that point. Well, we're going to have to see how it works, but I think Tesla will be an indicator. Again, if it can break out here, it will take the market with it, which is definitely something much needed that we need to see over the past couple of months. Because even myself, I like taking longer swings just because it's less stressful and allows me to let my money sit and grow. Whereas scalping is a lot more active, which I don't mind and I enjoy doing, but I prefer the less stressful swings sometimes moreover than scalping. So being said, Snap is the other one I had. It had tons of great news today. I was in an option here yesterday. I did close it out only because I was unsure of the market. I was already in gold at that point too, so I did swing gold overnight and made some profit on gold as well. But ultimately, what I wanted to do is I didn't want to have so many positions open just because there's been some major sways overnight. And then today I did miss out. I almost grabbed it here. I was watching it, but then I missed it because the market was acting funny at this point. And Snap actually didn't really move. And this move came fast because I remember watching it and it was down. And then all of a sudden, before I knew it, it was already way back up and started pushing up. And then we got some more news here around midday that popped it right up. So I do like Snap tomorrow. It is looking great on the daily. Ultimately, what I want it to be is open above the 56.61. If it does open there and hold there, I think Snap has got a lot of room. There's resistance here, obviously. There's some bigger resistance at the 58.59 mark. as a resistance there, but I think ultimately it's definitely got some space to run from that point. SE is the other one I have today, primarily because of the daily. Looks good on the daily, finally broke and is actually really clean on the daily. But if it holds this 242.38 tomorrow, 242.48. So essentially, if it holds this zone tomorrow is what I'm looking at, which could actually be great. If we do gap up, I look for this middle Bollinger Band, this 20, to be up in this supply area here. So if we do gap up and retest, that'd be perfect for a bounce tomorrow if you're looking for that. But ultimately, I do like that setup for tomorrow. If you're looking for a intraday scalp on that, even on the daily, if you're looking for a couple day swing, you really have to be careful on the swings only because the market is really sensitive to news right now. SC, I don't know a lot about SC, so I mean, if you believe in SC, then do your thing. But ultimately, I think if we do hold this, we got a pretty clean shot to 267. There is resistance here at the 266.53 mark, or what is that here? Let me see. The 246.15 mark. So that's something to keep in mind. But you can either intraday scalp or try to swing that for a couple days. Just mind that resistance there. Google is the other one. Google is also a big one. Again, the partnership I had today with Shop. As far as the daily, it looks clean, right? As long as we open up above the 23.44 mark tomorrow and hold there, we do got space all the way up here to the 24.34, I think. So again, it could be a couple days. You will have resistance here at the 23.82 mark. Could be good for a scalp if that's what you want to do. But ultimately, I think there's definitely a lot of space there in between there. If we hold at the, let me see here, 23.43 mark. So the 23.43 mark, which is right here. So this is ultimately what I'm looking at tomorrow. As long as we hold this mark tomorrow, I think we would be good. And we get another clean shot, try to retest that high here. But ultimately, I think in the morning, again, if we gap up, which could be a possibility, we come back down. You got the middle Bollinger Band. This is very bullish to see all these EMAs pointing up. So that candle land right there, and you're going to get a nice pop out of that. So seeing that plus that daily support on the middle Bollinger Bands right here, you got great support here. And again, if it's sitting here tomorrow, you can definitely see a nice pop up for the days to come. So that is essentially what I got for you guys. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Again, manage risk. Again, there's a lot of news out there. I think we got a lot of clarity in the meeting notes, so that was good to see, especially after all the confusion with the past 2 weeks with the Fed and people kind of overstepping Mr. Powell. So being said, I think at this point, I think we start really pushing, and tomorrow will be the telling, tall tale, essentially what's going to, at least for the next couple of weeks, because I do believe I'm kind of leaning towards bull bias over the next couple of weeks. Again, tomorrow is really going to determine that. It depends on where the daily candle closes tomorrow. But I think ultimately, I think we're going to be bullish for the next week or two at least. And then at that point, we might get in some headwinds about Fed and what they're talking about. So again, just something to keep in mind. So until next time, I will see you guys later.